Alright, so I'm doing a challenge trying to platinum every single game inside of the Ubisoft Plus game catalog on PlayStation. And if I can't do it before we hit 690,000 subscribers on YouTube, then I have to tattoo the platinum logo somewhere on my body. So make sure to drop a like and subscribe. Ladies and gentlemen, I finally did it, and I platinumed Assassin's Creed Black Flag. This is by far the most requested game out of any Assassin's Creed there is, and it's also the best. But just because it's the best one in the series does not mean the platinum is fun or easy at all. This game has some of the grindiest and most tedious trophies I have ever done in my life. But I did do it regardless of some of you doubting my ability to. Black Flag has 51 total trophies including the platinum and takes, according to the guide, 50 hours to do. However, that is just wrong. And if you actually did it in 50 hours, please show me because I just do not believe it. The first main step to the platinum is to beat the story, trying to get 100% sync in missions when possible. Because replaying these is kind of balls, but we will get to that. So stage 1, the main story. The Black Flag story follows a man named Edward throughout his journey from ordinary sailor boy banging the baddie of the East Coast to pirate legend and also assassin on the side. This game has one of the best and most original stories I've ever seen and is 100% better than any other AC game I've played recently. But the game opens up with you in a giant ass storm battling enemy ships that have stuff on them that we're after. This also serves as a tutorial to the game's boat combat that is a giant part of it, and also not too hard to be honest. But eventually we end up seeing an assassin that is after us, and before we can ask him why he's so serious all the time, a giant explosion occurs and then we wash up on shore in typical pirate fashion. But thank God, because Amber Heard's ass is not here, so when we woke up there was no poop on us. There was that assassin dude from earlier right next to us though, and when we refused to help him, he got kind of mad. So then we just chased him around for like 10 minutes, really getting used to the parkour of this decade-old game that somehow still holds up, mostly. We also got to play swords with the guy, which was sick. And after killing him and then taking his whole outfit, we would then begin to cosplay as the assassin for quite some time in this game. Before leaving the island though, we did have to save some merchant from bad guys because he was getting all worked up and didn't have a way to defend himself. He also sort of resembled a pig, but hey, the dude becomes a bro later on, so we love him no matter his appearance. I also found my first buried treasure in this game right on the same intro island, which was a trophy, and my first of the game. We then began to sail away from the island and off into the beginning of a new journey, which also ended the first sequence, and I got yet again another trophy pop. Now that was pretty quick for the first sequence of the game. The others aren't exactly like that. But sequence 2 consisted of us just really getting used to how missions work, and also the city life because it mostly took place in a city. Eventually we would progress into more deep story lore because the assassin we killed had orders to meet up with some governor and important characters of the game. These men are all super evil, by the way, and we are very out of place. We did get to do some shooting though, which was a bonding experience for sure. They also explained to me all of their evil plans, which just consisted of us trying to find some place called the Observatory, which is what this game is mostly based on finding. Anyways, who really cares about the point of the story because I just robbed them blind right after, and I have no idea how they didn't know. Actually idiots. We then went after the sage, who was like the quote-unquote key to get into the observatory that the evil people need and want. But during the process of saving him, we also got caught and thrown into boat jail. The worst. And as you could assume, yes, we did then escape boat jail and go out on the boat, just taking out all of the enemies. However, not on nice dates to Applebee's, as they say, just to a cold, cold demise. We also freed a bunch of prisoners, recruiting them to the good cause, and then took an entire ship of our own and sailed away, quite literally, into the sunset. Once we escaped fully, was also the end of sequence 2, and I got another trophy. Before the sequence 3 trophy, however, I did manage to get one single other trophy, which is awesome. And it was just from simply boarding and completing an entire ship's objectives without losing anyone on the way. This is done by just killing the enemies on the enemy ship fast, if you couldn't guess, and there's that trophy. But sequence 3 pretty much just heavily had us on the water, and we did a lot of tailing, which I'm not sure how an entire ship of crewmates can't see a giant pirate ship right behind it, but by all means, go off, developers. Anyways, it would conclude with us in a jungle infiltrating another enemy camp, going after a man named Julian Ducasa, who is also one of the dudes from the round table, as we call it. And he kind of looks like Hanzo from Overwatch if you're into that, God forbid. But once I assassinated him and we got the classic kill cam trash talk, it would be the end of sequence 3 and another trophy popped. I also got a trophy from just finishing this little real world sequence they throw us in, not every time, but most of the time, after completing a sequence. Back in the Animus though, sequence 4 had us follow around another pirate named James Kidd, who has info on the location of the observatory everyone is after. And we even got to look at a map. How cool. We then sailed the good old ship across the ocean all the way to a jungle. Sounds familiar. But this time it led us to some ruins, and we had to do a very simple puzzle that I might have had to Google how you start it. but once I found out how to begin it, it wasn't hard. Upon completion of the puzzle, we also got given a reward because they wouldn't make us do that for nothing, right? Before the video continues, I want to say a huge thank you to War Thunder for sponsoring this video. War Thunder is the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made and is available for free on PC and consoles. You can take command of over 2,500 tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships of major nations around the world, ranging from biplanes and armored cars of the 1920s to modern-day fighter jets and battle tanks. Immerse yourself in the intense combat of War Thunder, where incredibly detailed vehicles, graphics, and authentic sound effects place you right at the helm of the most powerful war machines of our time. Every vehicle has been modeled down to its individual components, so there is no such thing as simple hitboxes in this game. And there is even a game mode for every player type. Arcade for those fast-paced players, simulator mode for the ultimate challenge, and realistic mode as a perfect middle ground. My personal favorite feature this game has to offer is the simple optimization of it. Many times when I make videos, even simple games just crash on the PS5, which is immensely disappointing. But with War Thunder's in-house engine, it runs as smooth as ever and plays perfectly regardless of the high amounts of war crimes being caused on my screen. So don't wait any further and join the worldwide community of over 70 million players in epic PvP battles today. Play War Thunder for free on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and by using my link in the pinned comment or video description. New and returning players who haven't played in 6 months will also receive a massive bonus pack across all platforms, which includes multiple premium vehicles, the exclusive vehicle decorator Eagle of Valor, 100,000 Silver Lions, and 7 days of premium account. As always, it's available for a limited time only, so act quick and enjoy the rest of the video. Anyways, the prize was another one of those little keys to the observatory that the bad guys got their hands on earlier. And that was pretty much it for Sequence 4. Quite quick, to be honest, but that is what she said, and here's the trophy. Sequence 5 then had us do more ship stuff, and we took down our first fort of the game, which you gotta do all of them later. However, they are quite fun, so that's nice. Anyways, Sequence 5 went back to the traditional Assassin's Creed formula of us trying to hunt down an evil man and get rid of the evil man. This time we hunted down Santa Claus's drunk cousin named Lawrence Pines, and instead of leaving presents for kids, this guy just drinks all of their grandparents' prune juice and shits on the carpet. Oh yeah, after killing him, we also talked to some girl who kind of scares me, but in a good way. And here's the Sequence 5 trophy. Sequence 6 then took place, and it actually wasn't very long at all. We basically just worked with Blackbeard, the legend himself, and there was just one giant mission where we tailed some captain of the enemy fleet through the damn swamps of Louisiana. And I swear to God, this is one of the most annoying and frustrating missions in the game because it's honestly hard to keep up and not get seen whilst keeping up with the tailing objectives. But it ends with us getting a kill objective on the captain, and then we actually just took him back to the ship, and Blackbeard just threw him up on the mast. So that was dope. He's officially a bro. And yeah, there's the Sequence 6 trophy pop. Then I had a little real world spy action go on where we hacked some stuff, went outside. Imagine that. And yeah, trophy popped after those short 4 minutes of real world activity. Cringe. I then got a trophy right before the Sequence 7 trophy, and it was from completing 25 Abstergo challenges. These are kind of like trophy objectives, but you don't get trophies for them, so they are basically just counters of kills per se, usually at least. And once you reach like 100 or do something significant, a little pop-up tells you that Abstergo challenge has been completed, and you sit there wondering, cool, what the f was that? But yeah, it's a trophy for doing 25 of them, so here you go. Anyway, Sequence 7 has killed another commander guy, and I guess he was important, not only because his hair is white and full of wisdom, but because they then sent an entire fleet after us in the middle of a stormy night. But we escaped because I'm a god tier boat captain, and that was it for Sequence 7, so there's that trophy also. Sequence 8 then had us team up with some sketch guys, and not the sketch kind, but just bad people. So we basically did the objective and captured a ship we were after because they had good stuff, of course. But then this little scallywag on my screen decided to backstab us and kicked me and Vane off the ship, stranding us on an island. So we had a little castaway moment, and I wish Wilson was here to see it. I really do. But long story short, Vane went crazy and we had to put him down like a rabid dog. So I did what had to be done, and let's just forget that a ship came to save us right after. Like, conscience is clear. Also, there is the Sequence 8 trophy pop. Sequence 9 then had us go after the boys called Burgess and Cockram. Low-key, that sounds like a sketchy oil company, but hey, that's where the money is. I can't complain. Now, finding them and killing them isn't hard at all, but I was trying to do the 100% sync objectives, and the ones for these lads were a bit more hard than usual. And it took me many tries to get it, so I did spend a while here. But once I assassinated them both, it then gave us some cutscenes, and we saw this dude sort of hype up the crew because he has the key and knows where the observatory is. But one second, just take a look at that stash. delectable. Anyways, here's the sequence trophies pop. The next sequence then had us after a man named Benjamin, who was another evil dude that we must kill before moving on with our lives. Anyways, literally right before I was about to do the deed, I ended up swimming a total of 1 nautical mile, which is far, and I got a trophy for it. I then did assassinate poor Ben, and the rest of the sequence then had us actually going to the elusive observatory. This thing got mentioned so many times I was starting to think it wasn't even real, like my girlfriend that I still don't have.
Oh my god!
But inside we saw what it does, and fun fact, it observes things, which is probably why it's called the observatory. Anyways, we also got backstabbed and left here to die, but thanks to my impressive grip strength, we crawled out of hell, and then got made fun of by the same dude that left us there. So not cool, bro. So not cool. But here is that sequence's trophy. There was then another epic real-world mission, or lore, or story moment, or whatever you want to call these things, and yeah, I finished it, returned back to the Animus, and also got this trophy. The next sequence then had a load of fighting, and my timbers are literally shivering right now. Like it's actually cold. What the f***, it's July. Oh yeah, it ended with us having a romance moment with a redhead. On second thought though, I'm not sure if this was romantic, but she's hot for a video game character made in 2013, so beggars can't be choosers. Also, here's the sequence trophy. I then reached a part of the main story that requires a very high level ship because the mission had us battle a ton at once, and I was just getting my ass chewed like bubblegum, but like the gross kind that loses taste in 2 minutes. So yeah, I just spent a while in the open world, basically farming materials and money, and I ended up getting a trophy called Owned from completing everything in a location. I did it at a fort because those have like 4 things to do. I also then just simply managed to get 50,000 realies, or whatever you call them, the currency coins in this game. Anyways, I finally made it past that annoying part of the story, and it's now basically it for the game. Next sequence had us after that Loreno guy that was in the very beginning of the game, who was like grandpa to all the evil people, and we just killed him from using monkey bars, so that was sick. Then the lads just all surrounded the observatory and stared at it because we have no clue what to do with it. And yeah, that was it for the sequence, so there's that trophy. There was then one more real life mission, and I did it, which was cool, and got another trophy. I then jumped back into the Animus again, and we literally just sailed through the ocean with credits, so that was cool, I guess. I love this game. I then began stage 2, which is literally just the cleanup and the main time-consuming things, both upgrading the ship fully, and also I spent forever replaying missions to complete objectives that I sadly missed. So this was a lot of fun. It actually took hours to do, so that's great. But on the journey of getting both all sequences fully synced up, as the cool kids say, and upgrading the ship, I got like every single trophy, so that's awesome. First was called Sharing is Caring. Now some people say this is tedious because it's totally random, but I got it completely naturally, so they must be as high as a kite. It's basically from discovering random world events and then sharing them with your friends. Not sure what that actually does, but you have to do with each type of discovery, and there isn't that many to be honest. I then accidentally killed a guard who was ringing an alarm bell because I failed at stealth. Turns out that was a trophy as a matter of fact, and now I'm just an accidental genius. And the next trophy I got was, funnily enough, the 100% sync trophy for this game. And again, this is only for the main story, which I didn't miss too many objectives on, but 1 or 2 each sequence does kind of add up. However, you don't need to full sync the game itself, which saves countless hours, and here's that trophy. The goal now is to literally get every single other trophy in single player while grinding for the ship upgrades, which are balls, as most people know. But the next trophy I went for was from drinking myself so drunk that I woke up in a hay bale. Fun fact, it didn't take that many drinks, and I'm convinced our main character here is just a lightweight. Feels bad, man. I then spent, I kid you not, 2+ hours straight going after my next trophy called Vault Raider. No, not Tomb Raider, there was no big boobs involved. Instead, I grudgingly had to find every single Mayan stele, or whatever the hell it's pronounced, and do the little puzzles to get this treasure, and then bring them all to the tomb so I could unlock the special outfit gotten from this. But I gotta say, getting this outfit was dope. Whoever left it here with great pride, and you love to see it. I then simply just plundered 30 ships total in the game on my journey to happiness and got this trophy right here. A few hours after that, I also managed to upgrade my ship to a high enough level so I could take down all the forts in the game. The forts are actually needed for a few things later on, but this trophy right here is just from taking them all down like I said. I then got 2 trophies almost back to back. First from exploring all the underwater locations in the game, which is easily done because you don't actually have to explore them, just entering will do fine for the trophy. And then I found and went to every single location in the game also, and you get these locations per se by usually just walking into them and removing the fog on the map, or like one viewpoint would do if it's a bigger area. I then managed to complete all the naval contracts in the game, which are a part of the forts as little side quests that a man gives you in most of them. But naval contracts are all very simple and just have you usually sail to an area, kill some ship, and then sail back. Very easy. I also recruited 500 crew members total in the game after. You can't hold 500 at once, but it's an accumulative trophy, so yeah, you just gotta recruit 500 over the course of the game, which is pretty natural, I would say, unlike Kim Kardashian's big old titties. Next trophy I got was then the legendary ship trophy. A lot of people warned me about these a while back, but in honesty, once you have a fully upgraded ship, or at least a highly upgraded one, and actually know what to do, these legendary battles are actually not hard at all. And I did all of them just fine with only a few retries. So yeah, overall not very hard. You get a ton of money from them, which is a W W, much like this trophy. And now we have reached the real cleanup, as I like to call it, because almost all of the trophies remaining in the single player portion of the game are super simple and easy to get. First being from just harpooning a killer whale. Not hard at all, you just chuck copious amounts of harpoons at the poor creature. It's a great time. I then completed one of the Templar Hunt side quests. These are more random missions that have you hunt down and kill people, so it's just basically an Assassin's Creed moment, if you will. But yeah, not hard, and here's the trophy after we took out some evil dude with chops that just don't quit. I then made the hunter outfit next, which is crafted with some anima parts that I bought because I didn't care to find them since I'm a lazy son of a bitch. I then found every tavern in the game, which is actually done by completing a bar fight in each of them as the find objective. And yeah, no brain damage, so here's the trophy. I also had to farm some rope swing assassination kills, which are low-key hard to do because this game doesn't always work great, but I actually did a few earlier and only had one more to do for this trophy right here. I then bought all the upgrades for the home base, which this game has one for absolutely no reason. Like seriously, it does nothing at all. It's amazing. I then went back into combat and got 4 kills with guns back to back to back to back. So 4 in a row, and here's that trophy. I then did a random trophy from having escorts distract a guard so I could free some pirates. Truly the good old days, if you know what I'm saying. I also returned to real life and hacked 15 computers around Astergo's office space because I have no sense of personal space, much like Jeff from HR, that disgusting bastard. And that was actually the last trophy I would get from single player until the very end of the game. So I headed over to multiplayer in Assassin's Creed Black Flag, one of the worst experiences out of any online game I've ever played. This legitimately felt fake, like an off-brand discount game that is not made by anyone aside from Lenny in his dad's apartment. Multiplayer in this game is just ridiculously grindy, and it's not even fun either, it's just weird. The main grind for this multiplayer section comes with a level 55 trophy, which took me around 20 hours to grind to get. And I say that with honesty, it took forever. But there really isn't much to say about this grind because it's not hard per se, since the best method to do is just play solo, but my god, is it boring as boring can be. I kid you not, I fell asleep for a hot minute and smacked my face on my desk after a day of this shit. But I did get some trophies before that, or rather, during that. First was from completing a mode called Discovery, which was literally just a tutorial for the Wolfpack mode that is also the mode I played for like a day straight. I then played a match of Game Lab in the multiplayer section and got a trophy from that also. This mode is just a random mode with real people that is, you know what? I don't even know, it's just called Game Lab, I really don't care. I then finished a match with a customized ability set to multiplayer right after, which just means you change your ability, and you have to do that for other trophies anyway, so I'm not really sure why this is a thing, but it apparently is. And that was actually the last trophy I would get for countless more hours, because then the level grind really began. While doing the same mode over and over though, I was using every ability and weapon you can, because there's a trophy from using all abilities, weapons, and playing on every mode. Long story short, a day goes by of me dying inside, and we end up at level 50. I decided to go to my Discord and ask for some help getting lobbies for the other game modes of Assassin's Creed Black Flag's Wondrous multiplayer, and we ended up filling countless matches, so huge thanks to those that helped me, it means a lot. And yeah, anyways, there's the all-rounder trophy after I finished the last mode I needed to. I then spent 2 more hours grinding out levels to reach level 55 inside of the solo method, and I did it. I think I lost a part of myself back in this mode. I'm not going to be the same after, but the pain is over. So you're probably wondering, where is the last trophy? Well, if you've been paying attention, you might realize I never actually fully upgraded the ship back in single player, and that's because the last upgrade I needed was locked behind naval fleet missions. Yes, this game has those, and yes, they're stupid. It's the whole little mini game where you send off imaginary ships to real locations of the world and have to wait hours upon hours for them to return. And I didn't do this while normally playing the game, so it's kind of my fault, but again, why the f does a game have a 40-hour wait time restraint on an imaginary ship traveling? Like, what the hell is that? Finally though, I would end up accomplishing my goal and getting the last upgrade with the Platinum Trophy right after. So that was the Assassin's Creed Black Flag Platinum Trophy. Real quickly, I want to say another huge thank you to War Thunder for sponsoring this video. Don't forget to play it for free on PC, PlayStation, or Xbox now using my link in the pinned comment and video description. New and returning players who haven't played in 6 months will also receive a massive bonus pack across all platforms, including multiple premium vehicles and other goodies. Available for a limited time only, so make sure not to miss it. After so many hours of this game, I don't really feel much else aside from drained. And then again, I also am super tired, so I should just go to bed. But the videos won't make themselves. Anyways, rating this game out of 10, I gotta give it a solid 8. It's a pretty good game. Regardless of my deep-seated hatred towards Ubisoft, they somehow managed to land with this one. And that's also probably why it's like the only good Assassin's Creed game. They actually tried for once. How awesome. So yeah, that's all for today. Be back again next with the final Assassin's Creed game I have to platinum, AC Unity. Pray for my godforsaken soul. Lord have mercy, dude. Oh my god.